the position group that's on your mind the most. I'm going to get my mic set up. I'll be back in a minute.
Sounds good. And yeah, you want to lead off, Jeff?
No, man, I don't know what I'm doing. You go ahead.
Hit you over the head with the mic. I think we know exactly where I'm going to be starting, and it's really not a surprise to anybody that follows any of my work. And, it isn't just the right guard, and that's something I want to make clear. I just saw one of my buddies that isn't as into Ravens football just sent me a TikTok. I'm not a big TikToker, but it's Daniel Falele going viral, and it really has become Daniel Falele under the microscope, and I'm definitely part of that. I do watch him very closely. We talked about this in the preseason, but I don't think enough is being said about Roger Rosengarten as well, and even more so the combination of the two. I thought Daniel Falele was fine in run blocking. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad. He wasn't porous, but Roger was, and it really did speak to the combination of the two, because if you go back and you watch those blocks that got blown when Ed Oliver blew up runs in the backfield, all three of them were zone runs on the backside where Daniel Falele didn't even put a hand on Ed Oliver as the 3-tech to pass him off to Roger Rosengarten. So that speaks to the lack of, I don't even know if it's chemistry, the lack of understanding of what needs to be done in that situation. You're asking Roger Rosengarten to cut off Ed Oliver, who is notorious for one-gapping against zone. Like, that's something that I had one of the Bills film analysts on, and they were like, the reason we struggle in run defense is because we one gap so hard, and they just shoot gaps and guys get caught upfield. And that's what happened early in this game, oddly enough. And so it's just mind-numbing to me, because that is what Daniel Falele seems to struggle with. It's his football IQ. It's the way he kind of notices certain situations. You saw it in the first pass protection that he blew. He had a 1-tech on the opposite side. It was between the left guard and Tyler Linderbaum, and then he had a 3-tech head up on him, and they had Charlie Kolar in pass protection, so he knew that he had an extra man protecting on his side, and there was a 4-man line. The linebacker ends up blitzing. That's what creates the numbers. Falele's double teaming the opposite side 1-tech. Nobody blocks the 3-tech on his side, and it's because he thought pre-snap he had the numbers because that linebacker came delayed. He didn't read the play after the snap. Roger did, and Roger adjusted to his man, but Daniel Falele didn't pick up that 3-tech. And this is what's becoming so frustrating. It's the same issue kind of over and over again. It's just, the lack of awareness of what's going on. It's football IQ. And it's the same issue with those backside blocks. He needs to know that Roger Rosengarten is going to have a hard time cutting off and scoop stepping a 3-tech like Ed Oliver. You saw it on the left side of the line. I showed it in my run breakdown video. Ronnie Stanley cut him off, but it was because Andrew Voorhees put a hand out to pass him off. And those little things in this run scheme are going to make a big difference. So my big concern is whether or not this right side of the line is going to figure it out.
More to come on all of this, guys, including your super chats, which we will read, display, and react to right after this from our episode sponsor, and that is the folks at Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code HMA. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
All right, you guys know the drill. You heard it there, and you know how it goes with these channels too in the creator space. When you support our brand sponsors, you are supporting this channel's growth. If you use promo code HMA, and you'll get up to $100 match. That's a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. You can see Sleeper's terms of use for details. They're currently operational in over 25 states. You can check out Sleeper today, and again, use our code HMA.
They kind of struggled in run blocking last year. I'm not necessarily surprised. Roger Rosengarten was never known as being a high level run blocker, so none of this is that surprising. I did think Roger looked pretty good in pass protection. That's what I'm expecting him to be. He's basically, a left tackle type guy playing right tackle with his pass protection upside. Did get knocked back. PFF didn't charge him with a pressure. I'm really not sure why. But that play where Lamar scrambled back 20 yards and then went for 16 on the scramble, absolutely got knocked back by Joey Bosa, gave up a pressure. Other than that, he had a clean night. I thought he played pretty well in pass protection, but the run blocking, obviously, that's what happened. It was the run blocking in this game. Tyler gets knocked into, I think they had 6 runs in those 3 drives that we talked about. Tyler gets knocked back. Roger loses 2 of them, and Andrew Voorhees got knocked back, missing Matt Milano on a blitz. So it really was just a inconsistent game from the offensive line, but my big concern is that right side.
I'll go quick. I know Jimmy is supposed to come in here. I think my biggest disappointment will be the play on the edge for the Ravens. I think the caveats are Bills have one of the best tackle duos in the league. It's been Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins. And I think part of the rush game plan was not to give up lanes, not to head up field. I think there's a containment aspect where those edge guys weren't being asked to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. But there just wasn't enough disruption. And Harbaugh saying that, they didn't do a good job in pass lanes and maintaining their pass lanes, and he continually got out of the pocket. That they have veterans, always a veteran. Kyle Van Noy's a veteran. Tavius Robinson a veteran. Mike Green is a rookie, so you can understand a little bit. But there was just too many breakdowns from that group and just not enough playmaking. And you have another game or two like that, and the calls for Jadeveon Clowney are only going to get louder. They just need more from that group. And I think that this is a tackle against the Browns this Sunday. This is a tackle group that really struggled in week 1 against the Bengals. This is a game where, and Joe Flacco, you don't have to worry about Joe Flacco scrambling much at his stage of his career. He's going to be there.
Scramble on the weekend? He ran it went for 4 yards. It looked like he ran for 20 because he was running for so long, and he only got 4 yards.
Yeah, I just think you need those guys to be more disruptive. You need those guys to play better, to win more one-on-one matchups, and to be impactful players. And I just don't think as a whole they got enough from that group on Sunday.
Joe didn't get a whole lot of help from his supporting cast either.
And just to build on Jeff really quick, because I think this is really important, because the Cleveland Browns have a really good interior. They're almost an inversion of the Bills, but those tackles, and Trey Hendrickson, obviously a legit edge player. We all know that, but they gave up 13 pressures between Cincinnati edge players. So that's how porous this tackle duo is. And if there was a time for Mike Green to make an impact, it's going to be in this game because of the type of rusher he is. And that's the exact type of rusher that DeJuan Jones struggles with. So I did a video on it this afternoon because a lot of people frustrated with Mike Green. I get it. He had his first pass rush. He absolutely blows by Deion Dawkins. And I'm pretty sure he went to the sideline and got his ass chewed out because he outran his contain lane. And after that, he started rushing different. So trust me, this is going to be a big week for Mike Green. 2 sacks coming up.